This is Tom Fox, and welcome to a new season of Adventures in Compliance. This season, we're going to take up the stories from the collection entitled His Last Beau, some reminiscences of Sherlock Holmes, which is a 1917 collection of previously published Holmes stories by Arthur Conan Doyle, including the titular short story, His Last Beau, the War Service of Sherlock Holmes. The collection's first edition adjusts the anthology subtitle to some later remembrances of Holmes. All of the editions contain a brief preface from Dr. Watson, which we will read in a little bit. The book itself, or the collection, was published by John Murray in October 1917 and in the U.S. by George R. Doran the same year. The collection contains the adventure of the cardboard box, which was included in the American first edition of the Memoirs of Sherlock Holmes, but dropped later. 6 of the stories were published in the Strand between 1608 and December 1913. His final story, His Last Beau, the War Service of Sherlock Holmes, is an epilogue about Holmes' war service and was first published in Collier's on September 22nd, 1917, one book before the book's premiere. There are some great stories in here, and I know you will enjoy them, and I hope you will enjoy this season of Adventures in Compliance really as much as I've enjoyed reading the stories. If you've enjoyed this series or enjoy Sherlock Holmes, I hope you'll subscribe, rate, and review this podcast wherever great podcasts are listened to. Adventures in Compliance is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network. We continue with a bit of an international theme by taking up the red circle. I know you'll enjoy this episode. We're going to have a quick word from our network sponsor, Ethico, then we'll be right back.
In the intricate world of ethics and compliance, each second is precious, and slow case closures are more than just delays, they're missed opportunities. Enter Ethico. Our solution revolutionizes case management, cutting case closure times in half and turning every challenge into a chance for improvement. Imagine a workspace where efficiency and compliance coexist harmoniously. Don't just dream of faster resolutions, make it your reality. Visit ethico.com/CPN today to book a demo and dive into our exclusive white paper by Tom Fox, 2023, The Year in Compliance. Empower your team with the tools they deserve.
This is another 2-part story which appeared in the Strand Magazine in March and April of 1911. It opens with a visit of one Mrs. Warren, a landlady who has questions about her lodger, such as, he has not said anything when he comes home at all hours of the night. He demands a fresh copy, or a daily copy rather, of the Daily Gazette delivered to his door every morning. Little things are bothering her, and they mount up, and she's very puzzled. So puzzled that she has stolen a cigarette end and some matches from the young man's ashtray and brought them to Holmes. This, of course, brings up a discussion of Holmes' monograph upon the distinction between the ashes of various tobaccos, where he analyzed some 140 different brands of cigar, pipe, and cigarette ash. There's no need for such expertise here, but of course we get to hear about it. What else can Mrs. Warren tell Sherlock Holmes about her lodger? Not much. Aside from the first day he moved in, she has not spoken to him or even seen him. His requests are left as notes by her door. He moves around the house only when confident he will not be seen. In fact, Holmes wouldn't be surprised if the person living in the house is now a completely different person from the one Mrs. Warren leased the room to. He probably doesn't have a beard either. He makes several logical leaps, and one of those is that the mysterious lodger's attachment to the Daily Gazette is because he is sending and or receiving messages through this mechanism. This was apparently done in the 19th century and an early version of Facebook, one might even say. As Holmes is considering his next move, word comes that Mrs. Warren's husband has been kidnapped and then unceremoniously dumped alive on Hampstead Heath. Holmes concludes that this was a case of mistaken identity, as Mr. Warren was snatched by people believing him to be the mysterious lodger. Now things begin to fall into place as Holmes and Watson discover the lodger is a woman. They realize that the house she is been watching stands at the bottom of the road of the lodge where they are staying. And the next night they watch as the lodger and her confederate exchange messages by lantern. Then there is an interruption. Holmes and Watson return to the lodging house to discover the police. And Inspector Gregson and Leverton, a detective from the American Detective Agency, the Pinkertons, are there hoping to ambush one of the most vicious killers that has ever been through London, a wicked Italian named Giorgiano. He is the reason they believe in the house. But they will have a long wait because neither of them have paid attention to the three men who left the house earlier because none of them matched Giorgiano's description. Now they enter and discover their prey is dead. He's been murdered. But in pops the woman from the boarding house, and she is pleased to see Giorgiano dead. She's pleased because the man had been pursuing her and her husband. They had been whistleblowers or informants on a Italian crime gang, the Red Circle, from Italy to New York and New York to London. Giorgiano was ruthless, but now he's dead and they are free, at least free after they help the police conclude their inquiries. I wanted to use this short story, The Red Circle, to take a deep dive into due diligence and the importance of due diligence in the corporate world. And although obviously this is a story about Italian mafia and secret societies, it also has a larger set of lessons learned about uncovering the truth. So what are some of the due diligence lessons for compliance professionals? Well, number one, the importance of hidden connections. Compliance professionals must be adept at identifying hidden connections in the relationships between individuals within your organization. This involves conducting thorough investigations, analyzing data, and utilizing investigative techniques to uncover potential conflicts of interest, undisclosed relationship, and hidden agendas. 2, understanding network dynamics. Compliance professionals must understand the dynamics of networks and how they can be used to facilitate criminal activities or unethical behaviors. This involves recognizing the roles and responsibilities of different individuals within a network and identifying potential power structures and understanding the flow of information and resources. 3, uncovering deception and manipulation. Compliance professionals must be vigilant in uncovering deception and manipulation, recognizing that individuals and organizations may use various tactics to conceal their true intentions. This involves challenging assumptions, questioning motives, seeking collaborative evidence, and to verify information. 4, building a case for action. Compliance professionals must be able to build a compelling case for action based upon their investigative findings, providing evidence to support their conclusions and justifying any necessary interventions or remediations. This involves documenting findings, presenting evidence in clear and concise manner, and communicating findings effectively to relevant stakeholders. Number 5, the power of influence. This story highlights the power of influence and how it can be used to manipulate individuals. Compliance professionals must be aware of the power for influence to undermine ethical decision-making and must develop strategies to mitigate its impact. 6, the importance of collaboration. This story demonstrates the importance of collaboration and teamwork in uncovering complex networks. Compliance professionals must work effectively with other team members and stakeholders to share information, coordinate investigations, and achieve common goals. Number 7, the value of critical thinking. The story underscores the importance of critical thinking and skepticism in evaluating information. Compliance professionals must challenge assumptions, question motives, and seek corroborating evidence to ensure accuracy of their findings. By embracing these lessons, compliance professionals can navigate the complexities of modern business with greater awareness, vigilance, and a commitment to ethical conduct. The story reminds us that compliance professionals must be prepared to navigate complex networks and hidden connections to ensure ethical business practices. By embracing thorough investigation, understanding network dynamics, and uncovering deception, they can build a strong case for remediation or other action going forward. And you can protect your organization and promote responsible behavior. This is Tom Fox again. Thank you so much for listening to this first short story from the newest season in Adventures in Compliance, where we look at Sherlock Holmes' The Last Bow. If you've enjoyed this podcast, I hope you'll subscribe, rate, and review wherever great podcasts are listened to. I also hope that you will take the opportunity to review some of your favorite Sherlock Holmes stories. And if you'd like to talk about them or talk about the role of Holmes and compliance, I'd love to have a podcast with you. So reach out to me at tfox@tfoxlaw.com. The award-winning Adventures in Compliance is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.